A man is walking on the road in the middle of nowhere. Around are endless plains and a lonely road reaching towards the horizon. Hey! From behind him, another man approaches. Hey there! Didn't expect to see people here. My name is Devin. You? Oh hey, I'm Norman. What are you doing here? I'm here because I heard there's untold riches at the end of this road. Once I get it, my life will be perfect. How about you? Norman shrugs. I don't know. I like walking, I guess. Devin glances quizzically and says, Well, first one that gets to keep it. That treasure is mine. They part ways. Along the way, both men walk by a beach. Devin doesn't pay attention to it. His eyes are fixed on the road, thinking every minute he's not moving, it's progress lost. Norman stops by. He admires the beautiful view and picks up a seashell as a souvenir and continues his journey. The clouds darken. It starts raining. For Devin, the way feels far longer than he imagined. He feels miserable, cold. For a moment, he considers giving up, but he keeps pushing. All that matters is the riches that await at the end. Then, he thinks, then I will be happy. Then I will be allowed to stop walking, and everything will be okay. Norman doesn't stop. He knew it was gonna rain at some point. He almost even enjoys it. Whereas Devin is huddling in his tent, preparing for the night. Norman keeps going. Just a little more. Just a little more. He likes walking. People rarely succeed at anything unless they have fun doing it. Love what you do. Not to be confused with the professionally misquoted do what you love, which gives off a only do what you love only when you feel like it kind of vibe. When you think about it, isn't achieving success like climbing a mountain? You get to the top and then you're happy. Except even if or when you do get to the top, you still will be happy up there, won't you? What do I mean by that? Have you ever felt a void in you after you reached some kind of milestone? Almost as if you were happier pursuing it. It's like once you achieve what you wanted, your brain goes, okay, now what? That's most likely because of having a result-oriented mindset. I've talked about result and process-oriented mindsets in my previous video, but here's a quick rundown. A result-oriented mindset says, I don't want this, I only want this. It's like saying you want 6 packs quick and easy without doing any exercise. So when you face obstacles, you become prone to giving up. Meanwhile, a process-oriented mindset says, I want this. But this is also nice to have. It's a bonus. It's like saying you work out in order to grow every day, and 6 packs and the validation that comes with it are just a neat side effect. The journey should be your focus, not the goal. The outcome is the reward. And everyone I've seen stops here. Oh yeah, if you have a result-oriented mindset, you're neglecting the process and that's why it's bad. In this video though, I want to explore another way of seeing it. So far, we've all talked about how you get there. But I want to talk about what happens afterwards as well. The whole journey. A little ways north of Tokyo, Japan, in a place called Nikko, is the Toshogu Shrine, where there is the grave of a certain Japanese historical legend. That shrine is meticulously detailed and ornamented with gold and religious figures and symbols. It's a spectacle on its own. It's almost perfect. Almost. The last gate you pass through before entering the main shrine has 12 pillars, all intricately carved with motifs and religious symbols. Out of them, there is a single one that stands out. One pillar is upside down. Oh, that's funny. They assembled it upside down by mistake. Except they didn't. It's imperfect, and that's on purpose. The reason for that being, when something reaches a state of perfection, anything that inevitably happens to it will only ruin it. In short, imperfect can only be improved, perfect can only be deteriorated. This is why beautiful things feel so impermanent. Maybe it's the opposite, that the impermanent things are intrinsically beautiful, but I'm getting ahead of myself. If you reach the tip of the mountain, the only way left to go is down. And that's not a bad thing at all, unless you refuse to move, which is how people get stuck clinging to what they have because they're scared of losing it. They keep fighting, not out of their free will, but just to keep the shiny rock shiny. So, what can we do about it? Just accept it, let go, move on, go climb another mountain, sure. But then you'll be climbing a lot of mountains. And maybe that's what you want. But there is also another way, and it's to realize that reaching the summit won't fix your unhappiness. Because when you get that result that you wanted, all progress stops. It's completed, finished, done. And anything that happens to that state will make it feel like it's getting worse, away from that result you were supposed to have achieved. And you'll end up having to fight to keep it. You get to decide which mountain you climb, how big it is, which route you take. You get to decide what's complete and incomplete. So better accept that something is incomplete and keep developing it, rather than to fight, trying to keep it the way you want it to be. Just go climb a bigger mountain, one so tall you'll never reach the summit. Then give that mountain a name. Life. In more modern words, the grind doesn't lead to the dream life. It is the dream life. I feel this is easier demonstrated in fitness. Let's say you start working out to lose fat or to get your perfect dream body. You work hard for it, and then you get it. Feels nice, eh? And then what? Since you've achieved that body you wanted, you no longer have to work out as hard, so your muscle mass dwindles. You notice that, you feel down because of it, you start caring less and less. Instead, how about choosing a higher purpose that's truer to you? A mountain with as high a summit as you can to ensure you'll never stop improving. Here are just some possible alternative goals. Take some time to read them if you want. Sure, you'll probably get to that dream body slower, but you're setting yourself up better in the long run. This doesn't mean don't set goals, you absolutely should set goals. It's about realizing that the goal doesn't equal the finish line. The goals you set are merely waypoints, flag posts you place on your journey to orient yourself. Keep setting more. In the end, how far you make it is all about two things. How big your mountain is it a hill or a towering monolith? And why you climb it. To reach the summit because someone else said you'll finally be happy up there, or for the sake of personal development. After months of traveling, Devin looks at the horizon, narrowed by his own vision, and sees. Could it be? Mountains of gold! It's the end of the road! He bursts in joy. The riches are now his, and his suffering is finally over. No more walking through heavy rain and wind, no more spending nights in a small cramped tent. He has achieved his goal, and now everything is going to be okay. Weeks later, Norman finally arrives at the end of the road. He is met with Devin, vaunting with his acquired wealth and luxury. He was too late. Devin displays great joy and pride, but deep inside, he feels a certain void within him. He achieved his goal. Now what? Everything was supposed to be okay, right? Is it that he believes others will now try to steal from him? Or that he knows it will last forever and one day he will spend his last coin? He doesn't know. He covers it up by boasting. Although Devin's fortune sure is impressive, Norman's eyes aren't on the treasures. On the side, though narrow and overgrown, the path actually continues. Norman then looks at the lonely path forward and keeps walking. The man that loves walking will always walk further than the man that loves the destination. Thank you for watching.